Oh shit, we're live. Well, that's a lovely way to get started. Ah shit, we're live. At least I think we're live. I'm 75% sure we're live. There's a slight delay. Oh yeah, we're live. We're live. Well, this is an awkward start off because we're doing things way differently. But this is best of the bottom. We're bottom class people normally drinking bottom shelf booze. Oh, hang on. Let me bring my chat over here so I know what's going on. All right, there we go. Now I can see our chat. As you can see, I'm Justin. This is Diane. Typically, our format is quite a bit different. Normally, it's we break into our bag of doom and we take a shot of a mystery booze, but things are a little bit different because I got COVIDed, and then I think I got Diane COVIDed.
Yep.
So, as you may have seen, last week I made a little announcement. Hey, Maverick, just made a little announcement saying that we weren't going to be live last week because I was feeling like death on a cracker. Well, actually, I wasn't feeling that bad. It was more of I was just tired. I was just tired from the whole thing. So we decided to postpone, just take a week off. I didn't do any streaming at all. I just took the entire week off. No Terrified Tuesdays, no AEW stream, nothing. I just took the week. Because I would say, because Monday we did a podcast on, let's see, when was it? So it'd have been the 10th? No. The 9th. I think it was the 9th. The 9th we did the podcast. It had to have been the 9th if it was the 10th that I started having symptoms, I think. So it was Tuesday, we did the podcast. Monday, everything was fine. No big deal. Good to go. Tuesday, started feeling a little sinusy, but I always do. Sinuses just runs in the family. We live off of Sudafed and antihistamines most of the time. So I didn't really think much about it. And then it was Tuesday night when suddenly I just lost all sense of taste and smell, and I was just feeling kind of more sleepy than normal, had some body aches. And I called Diane, I guess it had technically been Wednesday morning. It was in the wee hours. And I was like, was it 3? Yeah. I was like, Diane, you feeling sick? And I called, no. And I was like, well, I'm starting to. And this kind of sucks. So it wasn't I wasn't feeling terrible, but the one thing that was alarming is just I sat down and I went to go eat a hot dog, and all of a sudden I realized all I could taste is like a salty wiener. And you just don't want to suddenly just taste the salty wiener. You know what I mean? No ketchup, no mustard, nothing. That's all all I could taste is that this thing has salt in it. So then I had some blueberries, and all I could taste, these things have sugar in it. That's all I can taste. It's either sugar or sweet. So it's either salty wiener or sweet balls. Those are my choices in life. And I don't know. I don't know what's the better option. But it was, so
sweet balls probably.
Yeah. Salty wiener just not the greatest thing in the world. But then I did the live stream, the AEW watch along stream, and I was feeling okay, but I just felt just tired, ridiculously tired for no reason. I'm just sitting here, haven't done shit, and I'm like, oh man, I just want to go to bed. So when I wrapped up the AEW stream, I was gonna try to go chill out and take a nap and then come back and maybe do the retro stream. I just fell the fuck asleep. I just fell asleep. I was out cold, so So I just kind of gave up on trying to stream again on Wednesday. And then when did you start noticing stuff?
Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah, it was almost a week.
Okay. Yeah. So, but you only lost your your sense of taste and had the sinus stuff, right?
Yeah, well, and I was really loopy. Like,
yeah, there was this
I could
weird
not
little
focus for shit.
yeah. I noticed that same sensation. It was just like everything was just off too, because it just felt like I tried to play one of these what was it, Asphalt Legends. I was just trying to play a video game, and it was just I couldn't. It wasn't happening. I just kept driving into walls and shit, and it was just everything. Just it seemed like my reactions, everything was just slightly off. It just was a weird sensation. It's hard to describe it. It's not even like being drunk. It was just like this weird. Everything just seemed altered. Like nothing seemed like it was supposed to, and that sucked a lot.
I liked it, actually. I was like, holy moly, man. Like, I totally felt like I was on shrooms or something at one point. I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But like any kind of medicine I took, like I just felt like everything was hitting me so hard. I just felt it was weird. It was really weird.
I kind of had that same thought too. When I was in the bathroom and I was getting ready to get in the shower, and I was kind of just looking at myself in the mirror, and I had that same sensation I had, in my past doing psychedelics, just kind of like that weird, everything just kind of, I don't know. It's just, it's an odd sensation, but it was definitely pretty weird. And
it was really weird.
I'd say that was, for the most part, that was like the majority of how I felt. And it wasn't until I think there was it. Because I got tested on the 12th, and that took forever. I did the drive-through test at the Department of Health. Oh, Jesus, that was a mistake. I was just sitting there in my car for freaking ever. I mean, yeah, you have to make an appointment and everything, but people start lining, because I even went there a little early, and there was still a big-ass long line. Like, some of these people must have went out, like, woke up first thing in the morning, like, oh, I got my COVID test at 3, so might as well go park now. And it was just like, Jesus, come on, people. Don't you have nothing better to do? So I sit in that long ass line, and they do the COVID test and tickle the back of my brain, and that was pretty horrible. And then ended up having my sinuses ended up bleeding for like 2 or 3 days from that.
That's gross.
Yeah, from that stupid little bottle brush they jam up your nose, and that was horrible. But then it was, I think it was the night of the 13th and 14th is when I felt the shittiest. But I just like had this horrible body aches. I could, no matter where I was, I could not be comfortable. Just everything hurt. Like I couldn't stay in bed. Just nothing was comfortable. Came and sit here in the podcast room for a little bit. That was uncomfortable as hell. But like right as soon as I started feeling sick, though, the one thing I noticed is I seemed to get like instantly dehydrated. Like, I don't know if you had the same thing. It was just like, no matter how much water I drank, I still felt, I don't know where it was going, because I didn't have like, I think I had like maybe a couple small episodes of cold sweats, but I don't know where the moisture in my body was going, but it just was just like evaporating instantly. I don't know if you had the same sensation that I did.
I was definitely having like the cold sweat situation. But I don't know if I if I really felt dehydrated. I mean, honestly, this is the most water I've drank in a long time. So I I mean, you told me right away, stay hydrated. So I was on it. Like,
Yeah, because I just noticed like after day one, it just seemed like no matter how much water I drank, it didn't seem to do anything. I felt just so like just like a shriveled up prune. It was horrible. And then I just kind of lost my appetite because I couldn't taste anything. It was either salty or sweet. So then I think that's why I felt the worst on whatever day it was, like Friday and Saturday night, is just because I was laying there and I realized I hadn't eaten anything. I'd just been living off of just strictly just water and Pedialyte for the last several days. And it was after that I was like, oh man, I probably need to eat something. So I started eating just like toast with a little bit of butter or just something that I knew wasn't going to taste like much because I couldn't taste it anyways. So I lived off. That's what I lived off of for a good while. So I'd say the first couple days I was able to eat a little bit, but then after a while of just not being able to taste or smell anything, just it's hard to want to eat anything. You're just like nothing really smells good or bad or anything. It was just kind of
yeah. It made me feel like my mouth and like my face was numb or something. Because
yeah.
there was just like no sensations coming through. So it just felt numb to me.
Yeah.
Like I kept thinking, like if I bit my tongue right now, I'm not gonna feel it. But it was like it was just nothing was working. I only had that for one day though, and that wasn't too bad.
For me, it lasted probably 4 or 5 days, maybe. As I had no taste or smell, nothing like that. But the one thing that was really annoying, so as soon as my sense of smell first started coming back, everything smelled slightly like canned corn. everything smelled like canned corn, and it was weird and annoying af. Like I would get Matthew was cooking spaghetti. All right, so he cooked a bunch of spaghetti and everything, and I was like, "Oh, is he making cornbread?" And I could have swore it just smelled like cornbread is what he was cooking. So I tried eating a little bit of spaghetti, and it kind of tasted like something. He also put a bunch of like chili powder and stuff like that, so it had kind of some heat to it. So that was probably the most flavorful thing I could taste because there was enough chili in there to kind of give it some heat.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like I said, everything smelled like canned corn. There was nothing that didn't smell like canned corn, and it was just it started getting nauseated. And then my friend Amanda, I texted her because she had COVID before, and I said, "Hey, just a question. When you started getting your sense of smell back, did everything smell like canned corn to you?" And she just sends a bunch of vomiting emojis back at me, and I was like, "Oh, well, I didn't expect that violent of a reaction." But everything tasting like canned corn was horrible. Like not tasting, but smelling like canned corn. So for a couple of days, I pretty much lived off like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's the only thing that seemed decent.
I ended up living off of sandwiches as well at one point because all I could taste was mayonnaise for some reason. That was the only thing I could taste was mayonnaise. And it felt like a miracle when I found it. I was like, mayonnaise. I can taste mayonnaise. Because I was eating a pork chop or whatever, and I couldn't taste anything. So I was just chewing on meat, and the texture wasn't really doing it for me.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to like put just like a shit ton of barbecue sauce on there because I figured that would maybe spark something, and it's like really spicy barbecue sauce. So I was like, and it just tasted like pickles. And it fucked me up. I was like, what is this? It's just this like meat pickle hybrid. It was horrible.
Yeah, like I haven't eaten any meat products until yesterday. Yesterday was the first thing I, mostly because don't have a great deal of stuff to eat because I've been kind of relying on getting other people to go to the store for me, or I had Walmart delivery, but I can't wait 2 days to get groceries. So I convinced Mandy to run to the store and at least get like some cat food for the cats because they were starting to look at me like I was an asshole. They ran out of cat food and they just kept there's sitting there by the little box where I keep all their cat food, and they would just sit there and look at the box and look at me and then just meow at me derisively and just be like, "Hey, Dick, there's a problem here. You see this box? It's fucking empty. See these bowls? They're fucking empty. What are you gonna do about it?" So I was like, "All right, let me figure something out." And then, because I haven't left the house. The best I've done is gone out to the front yard or the backyard, just to remember what fresh air felt like. But it's been horrible just being stuck in the house.
Yeah, I live with my folks, so I was confined to my room, and that really was the hardest part of everything, just being stuck in my room. I could go to the bathroom that I share with my sister. She also got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. I was just stuck in my teeny room, and by day 2 I was like, all right, I'm sick of this shit. Like,
I know I've probably taken more naps out of boredom than anything else in my entire life. I've probably slept so damn much. Although I will say, when all this started, I was probably like around 290, 288, and I weighed myself the other day, and I was 275. Because, like I said, I've mostly been just living off of water. Been having some orange juice now lately, just because I can taste stuff. And peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I've been eating a lot of peanut butter peanut butter and raspberry preserve sandwiches. I'd say that's probably 90% of what I've eaten. And then today I finally ate the supreme pizza that I've had in the freezer for a little bit. And I was like, oh, wow, pizza. I can taste it. Because that was one of the last things I ate because I ate the salty wieners, and that wasn't very pleasant. And the next day, I was like, let me see if I can actually taste something. So I made a pizza. Salty sauce. Like, it was just like I could taste the texture of the crust, and the sauce was salty, with just a slight bit of sweetness to it. That was that. And I ate like a slice and a half, and then I was like, I'm over it. I'm over it. And then I just pretty much lived off of just bread and butter for a good while. And then eventually, once I started getting some taste, that's when I started breaking out the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But I will say, too, the one thing that I noticed was interesting, I just kind of was curious to see, is just because I do work as a medic, and that's probably how I got this, is because the last few weeks we've had quite a few COVID positive patients. I think we talked about in the last stream. It was like it's like a 50-50 split of, oh yeah, you're sick and you go to the hospital, and well, I was told I need COVID. I got COVID, so I should go to the hospital, right? Like, do you have any? No. But I think I should go to the hospital because, I got COVID. So we had a few of those, but some of the things I did notice was some of the patients that I've had that was one of the first things that they were talking about, is that they just feel thirsty all the time, and they just feel like no matter what, they're just don't feel hydrated. And that was kind of one of my first clues of, like, since I started noticing how dehydrated I felt, I started drinking twice as much as I normally do. And I think that kind of helped me from getting sicker than I could have. Because like when I went the couple of days and I realized I hadn't eaten very much and everything, I think that was a big part of helping to fight this thing off, is just keeping that metabolism going and staying hydrated and helping your body kind of flush some of the shit out. I mean, that's just kind of, that was just something I observed. Is it just was, I think it just kind of helped me out quite a bit, because there's quite a few that that I ran that were real sick, and it said that they started off trying to stay hydrated and then they just kind of felt weaker and they haven't really gotten off the couch or anything else. And I just wonder if that's kind of part of that little tipping point that puts you from sick to sick. You know what I mean? Because staying hydrated and everything else is an important part, especially with the way I didn't even get to the tiny lungs part experience that I had. Did you experience the tiny lungs?
I did not experience the tiny lungs.
Oh, wow. That was weird. Like, part of that whole thing of staying hydrated, in order for your lungs to truly function properly, they need to be moist and hydrated, and so they don't get all like stuck together and funky. And I think part of not staying hydrated adds to that issue. I mean, it's a theory, something that I've just observed. I'm not giving out any scientific fact here. I'm just saying this is what I experienced. It's just some of the stuff that I've observed, and it's, seems logical to me. So I'm just saying, like, if you end up with COVID, try your best to keep yourself hydrated. And I think that really made a huge difference for me. Because even it took me until probably towards the end before I even started developing a cough. Because it wasn't until the last few days when I wasn't even feeling that sick, I developed a little bit of a cough, and then I started having, as I called, the tiny lungs. Because it was just weird. It was just like, it all of a sudden just felt like my lungs got 2 sizes too small. So I go to take a deep breath in, I'll just go, and then it just stop. It was just like, no, that's it. That's all you got right now. It wasn't like tight or tough to breathe. It was just like, no, that's it. There's that size now. You just got to deal with it. You got tiny lungs now, bro. You got tiny lungs, and that's how you feel. And then it feel really weird. Like, you go to yawn or stretch or do something else, or you do any of your normal, taking a deep breath or whatever. And it was just and then it would set me off on this horrible coughing fit. And it was a weird sensation. It seemed to be, the worst of it would be in the morning when I first wake up. It was, that seemed when I'd have the worst tiny lung situation going. And then once I got up, kind of moved around a little bit, I think it got a bit better. So.
Yeah, I was very fortunate not to have that. My sinuses just felt weird. It was, I don't know, it was weird. I would, my lungs never felt weird, but I would breathe in, and if I breathe through my nose, it would just hurt really, really, really bad. But it didn't feel like it was in my lungs or anything. It just felt like it was in.
Yeah.
It was just weird. The whole thing was weird. It's everything was really in my face that happened, and had to deal with my tongue or my nose or. But yeah, that Sunday when I woke up, I was like, I'm definitely sick.
Yeah. So it was just the sinus stuff in the beginning, so I thought nothing of it. And it wasn't until the loss of taste and smell that I got concerned. And I'll say there was maybe 2 or 3 days of when I felt just horrible, just the horrible aches and pains, particularly my back and my neck. It just I don't know, it just ached so bad that there was nowhere on this planet that was comfortable. Nowhere. It was horrible. And then, like I said, once I started feeling better, I started having the canned corn, tasting every damn thing, and then the boredom set in. Like I started going through these weird phases where all of a sudden, like if it wasn't for my cough and my tiny lung syndrome, I felt amazing. Like I felt like I could get up and build like 6 houses just out of nowhere. Just suddenly I just felt this, like I'd have this like burst of energy. I just felt like there was nothing I couldn't do. But now I'd start like cleaning the house or doing something, and then tiny lungs would kick in. I'm like, oh shit, no, I can't do shit. I'm gonna go lay back down. And that felt really shitty. And then
it was so weird. Just having that energy and then not having that energy.
Like just like that. It was like I got up and I started gathering up a bunch of laundry, and I was putting laundry in. I was gonna do a whole bunch of laundry, get my whole room all cleaned up. As soon as I got the laundry and everything put in there, and then I went and sat down, I was like, oh, then I started having a coughing fit, and I was like, oh shit, I'm out of energy. I burned it all. And then I went and sat down, and then I had another burst of energy. So I was smart about it. I came in here and I made our new headers and everything for the Twitch stream and the YouTube channel. I sat down here, got in Photoshop, and started putting stuff together. And I improved our Facebook. Find us, Facebook at Best of the Bottom. You'll see our little banner there and the Paraco Productions logo. So I finally have all our stuff uniform and properly branded. We look professional, guys. We look professional-ish. But so the other thing that I got into is I've watched so many episodes of Catfish.
Justin, why?
Well, first I was running out of stuff to watch. I ran out of stuff on YouTube that was interesting, and I was watching Ridiculousness. And after Ridiculousness, they started playing newer episodes of Catfish. So I started watching those. And then I found Catfish is on Hulu. And holy Jesus, the amount of episodes of Catfish I have watched is...
I thought you were just like stuck on the channel or something, but you're saying you sought out more episodes of Catfish?
Yes, I got on Hulu and found more episodes of Catfish. And I watched, like I said, like at first I was watching Ridiculousness, then Catfish came on, and it was some of the newer episodes. So they were doing Catfish via Zoom, which is kind of interesting how they do that. And then I watched, I don't know, probably another 15, 20 other episodes of Catfish before the Zoom episodes. And I mean, I've been so bored. And then I started finding all kinds of different random documentaries. I watched this documentary called Hunt for the Skinwalker, which that one's kind of interesting. I don't know if you... so there's this ranch out in Utah, and they've been having a lot of paranormal phenomenons. They have like a high rating of seeing UFOs, and these people bought this ranch, and they're talking about seeing all these like weird portals and people and weird creatures walking out. This wolf came up and attacked one of their calves, and they shot it like several times, and then it just like walked off. It was just all kinds of crazy, weird phenomenon that have happened at this ranch for decades. And then they studied it. It was a group of government scientists and some private scientists, because some rich dude bought the ranch and was curious on what was going on. So they spent like 20 years studying this. And because like the one rancher that was talking about, like one day he just noticed these weird little like grooves just like taken out of the soil just all around the house, like that would have to be dug out by some sort of machinery, but there was like no way that somebody could have just easily gotten in this massive machine to come in there and dig it up and nobody noticed it. And then it was just all these weird little phenomenons happening. Like they're talking about being inside the house, and one of the wife was taking a shower and everything, had the door locked, like you normally do with your shower. She gets out and her towel, everything is completely gone from inside the bathroom. Like all her makeup, her hairbrush, everything that was in there is just gone. Just all kinds of weird stuff like that, and seeing like these weird like faceless figures like looking through the windows into the house, and all kinds of crazy weird stuff. But it's an interesting documentary. I watched that. I actually watched it more than once because there's a couple times I just fell asleep because they played this like ominous music in the background, but instead of being ominous, my weird ass found it relaxing. And I'd fall asleep like almost every time as soon as it started playing this weird ominous music. I was out.
So is it like screeching noises? Like
no, it's just
what kind of? You said ominous, so I'm just imagining
just like
or some crazy shit like that.
No,
like what are we?
It's more low key, like kind of like like that, like very low key.
Like screeching violins and like pounding on
and I'm like, oh, this is some relaxing. Yeah. No, it was like it was more subdued, very kind of chill music. So I mean, I've spent probably more time bored just watching random ass stuff. I watched a few serial killer documentaries. I'd say probably the Skinwalker Ranch was the most interesting one because there was like a lot of found footage stuff. It had stuff from like cattle mutilations. There's a lot of craziness that went on. It's on Hulu. You should watch it. It's Hunt for the Skinwalker.
I'll think about it. I actually didn't watch very much TV or anything. I just seriously sat down and played videos. Like it was hard. Like I'm no joke. I was playing Dragon Age, and I had to make my character 4 times because I kept accidentally deleting it. Like I would go through and I would make it, and then it would get to the end, and I would always press back. And it would take me back to the whole beginning. And I was just like, what the fuck? Why can't I was starting to get really mad because I couldn't understand why every time I pushed the wrong button. So I had to stop myself and like look at the controller. I was having such a hard time. Like,
yes, I hardly played video games. Like I said, I tried to play Asphalt Legends. I tried to play some Metroid, and something else. There was a couple games I tried to play, and it was just like I just couldn't keep proper focus, and I was like, nah, I can't deal with it. So I ended up just giving up. And then like even till now, like I'm excited. Tomorrow is my last official day of quarantine. Because that'll be day 14 tomorrow. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably not much because there's still nothing to do because the governor shut everything down. But I might go to the grocery store so I can actually buy my own groceries.
Yeah.
Because I hate sending a list to somebody and being like, oh, hey, this is what I need. And they get stuff and it's kind of like, well, that's kind of what I wanted, but not quite. So it'll be nice to actually do grocery shopping.
Yeah, my first day really like wandering around outside of my room was Sunday. So
Yeah.
I was cleared for Saturday, but I still was feeling iffy about it because I just really didn't want to get my parents sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they didn't get sick, so
That's good. That's good. If they haven't gotten sick now, I don't think they're going to.
No, so they're pretty much in the clear. So that was really good. We were very like cautious about all that stuff. I wore gloves and masks when I like had to go to the bathroom and everything, and I cleaned everything off. Like,
yeah,
they weren't going in the bathroom anyway because they have their own. So
yeah. And
Deborah
then
was fucked. I mean, she was gonna get sick no matter what. But
see, it's just Matthew and Marcus here, so I just pretty much just been keeping to my room the whole time to avoid coming to contact with them. And if they caught it, they never got symptoms because they never complained of feeling sick or nothing. They just been out here in the living room playing video games and shit all day. And like as soon as I started feeling sick, I kind of let everybody know, you know, Kurt hasn't been over here. Mandy hasn't been over here. Nobody's been over here, so I haven't really seen anybody. This is the most interaction I've had with a person in like almost 2 weeks.
Oh, I know. I called Deborah on the phone when I was in quarantine, and I was just like talking to her, and she was like, "Okay, well, I don't feel well, so I'm gonna go." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I just haven't talked to anybody in like forever. Like actually talked like because my mom would like come and leave food in front of my door, and then I would like eat that, but that was like the most interaction I was having with people.
Yeah. Oh.
And then I was just my video games. So I was super happy to just like finally talk to people.
Oh,
like that was nice.
Shit, I ended up downloading a dating app.
Oh my.
And I ended up talking to a girl that I know who already have her phone number. So I just text her now.
Well, you're not supposed to text people you already know. But like
I know. And then there was like a couple other girls that I've messaged through the app a little bit, but I'd say the girl that I know is the only one that I've really talked to much because we already kind of know each other. So I mean, even then, I've pretty much most of my conversations have been limited to text messaging or the handful of times I talked to you on the phone trying to plan out this live stream, which so far so good. It seems to be holding up. I've never used this software before at all, so I was sitting there going, hopefully it works. And I got my little live stream that I'm monitoring here, and it seems to be working. But I mean, really haven't done much in really the first, I'd say 3 or 4 days of it. I didn't really feel like talking. I just kind of slept. I'd wake up, watch a little bit on TV or whatever, watch some Catfish, watch some Skinwalker Ranch stuff, go back to sleep. And I did that for probably the first 3 or 4 days, 5 days maybe. And then now pretty much I take a nap because I am bored shitless. Like I've catfished myself out.
well, yeah. I mean,
I caught up on the last 3 seasons of Bob's Burgers that I was down. That I watched a couple of serial killer documentaries. I found this other documentary that, it's a found footage. Like it poses as a documentary, but it's not. It's a movie. And at first I was interested in it. And then once I started watching it going, this can't be a real documentary. There's no way they would show this type of actual footage that was found. And then I kind of started looking into it and I was like, it's It's not that interesting anymore. I mean, it's kind of cool that the way they filmed it. They really like set it up where it seems like a documentary.
What is it called?
The Poughkeepsie tapes.
Mm.
It's on Amazon Prime, but the premise is this guy was a serial killer, and I guess he ends up dying or whatever. And when they're going through his house, they find all these tapes of all these killings that he's done and torturing and cutting up bodies, and they find these bodies on the property and all this other stuff. So that's kind of the basis of it, and it kind of breaks it down as a documentary of somebody presenting these tapes as kind of like a FBI profiling type of class situation. Like they're kind of talking about this guy and how this is before he figured out what he's doing and all this stuff, and it kind of progression throughout tapes, and they kind of present
anything.
Well, it keeps kind of going back and forth, like from like found footage, and then it goes to people being interviewed, whether it's like FBI agents or like victims' families. So they really present it as this documentary thing, but then it turns out not just a regular movie. So because I found out it was a regular movie, I was like, oh, it's not as interesting to me anymore.
Yeah. Well, that definitely ruins shit.
It just kind of deflated the whole idea of what it could be. But that's kind of that's probably the most interesting thing I found is the Poughkeepsie tapes and then the Skinwalker Ranch documentary. And I could get into all kinds of catfish stuff here.
Oh. Well, I mean, I don't understand that show. Like, I get it, but I'm like, are the people who do it likable? Like, I just, from the episodes I've seen, I just really haven't.
It kind of depends. There was one episode I was watching. This it was one of the newer episodes. This dude's like in his 20s, and he's going through this whole thing talking about this girl thinks she's being catfished and all this stuff. Goes through the trouble, goes all the way over there, meets this girl who's quite pretty, and she's a real person. She's excited. She's happy to meet him. She's thinking, hey, man, this could be a real relationship or whatever. And then the dude that thinks he's getting catfished, he drops the bomb that he's actually got a fiance this whole fucking time.
So he was the catfish?
Well, essentially, yeah. He was like talking to this girl, and he wanted to find her out.
How does catfishing work? Are you the catfished or how does that work?
No, the catfish is the person that's on the other end that's sending you photos of other people and all this other stuff. The catfishee is the one that's like, oh, I love you. I want to meet you. Here, have some money. Well, not always. Sometimes they send people money. Sometimes they don't. But some of the stories, man, is just like, that doesn't even make sense. How was that even a thing?
Yeah.
Like this one dude, like this whole time he's like going through this whole thing and he seems all sad and you're kind of like feeling for this guy. You're like, oh man, I hope this girl. And then you see the girl and she's real and she's happy to see him and he gets all like standoffish and kicking rocks and just all weird and everybody's kind of like, what's going on, bro? Why are you being so weird? And then after a few minutes of talking back and forth with Neve and the other fucking guy, Max, he tells Neve, he's like, oh, well, I have a fiance and I wasn't sure if I wanted to get married. So that's why I wanted to find this girl and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, the fuck, bro? And then, so they end up telling her what's going on, and he ended up breaking up with the fiance and that other girl.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that. I feel like you can't like if I was that chick and I found out you had a fiance this whole time, I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, that's over too. Like
Yeah.
you just basically, yeah, you
And then
can't
you
go
have,
to neither of those people now. So
and then you have the goal to go on national television and do this whole catfish thing. And
well, is it like real? Is it like a real thing or?
yeah, I mean, it's.
Sorry, I
I
don't
mean,
know what to do. Like, because you're not here or anything, and I'm just sitting in my chair, like I don't know what to do with myself. We're not drinking anything.
I know. I have water.
Yeah, I'm just like I really don't know what to do with myself.
I feel like it's as real as most any reality show type things are. But you definitely know ahead of time. Producers definitely talk to these people ahead of time, kind of get the most drama out of the episode as they can. So it is a lot of these random ass people that are writing to the show being like, hey, I've been talking to this dude or this chick or whatever for this many months, years, whatever. Now I think I'm in love with them and I really want to meet, but they won't video chat. And there's always some kind of story on why they won't video chat or they won't meet. And then then eventually they come in there and they search through social media stuff and they're like, oh, so this person is linked to this person, so it's probably this person, blah, blah, blah. And they finally start sending messages to people and then eventually they have
exciting or
huh?
Then it's exciting. It sounds pretty.
It's interesting depending on how they frame it. I've seen some episodes where I'm kind of like,
I've seen a couple, and it just seems kind of like I don't know, which is not enough drama, I guess. The ones I've seen, but it's just like
the ones that are really good at catfishing are definitely the more interesting episodes. And then because there have been some episodes where I'm like, how did this make the cut? This is lame.
Yeah, I just like
and then you have some that like you have some like happy endings, and then some you have some weird endings. Like the dude that ends up being like, "Oh, I got a fiance." Well, what the fuck, bro? Why are you gonna bring people on national television when you already got a fiance? Come on, man. Come on.
Would you ever go on Catfished if you felt like you were being catfished?
I know. I'm afraid that like I'm gonna be because I have a bad habit of ghosting people and shit on accident. So I don't want to have somebody hit me up on Facebook and like, oh, hey, you were talking to this person, blah blah blah, and you just disappeared. We catfished him. Like, oh,
so you don't want to get called out on your bullshit. Is what you're saying?
I'll be like, oh, nah, I went to work and then I got busy and I forgot. That's how I ended up on Catfish and be like, oh, sorry, my bad. I got busy and I forgot about you.
I think that's rough. Don't tell anybody that. I'm sorry, I just forgot about you, man.
I mean, that's kind of what happens with me is I
lost interest. Sorry, dude.
Like, not even that. Like, sometimes I can have all I've meant to send a text message and it'll just be sitting there on the screen waiting to be sent for like months. And I'll be like, oh, I guess they quit talking to me, and then realize, oh no, I just never sent a text message.
Yeah, I do that too. It's really bad. I feel awful because it's like I have a tendency of like, yeah, I'll open my messenger or whatever, and I see the text, but I don't see the text, you know?
Yeah.
And then a lot of time goes by and they're like, oh, I wonder about this person. And it's like, fuck, I never answer them back. Like,
like you answered them, but they never received your answer.
Yeah. All the time. All the time.
Yeah, that's I do that shit all the time too.
I have no problem picking up conversations like you asked me right now. Like I'll have like say something, I'll just answer back, blah blah blah, and I'll be like, sorry. Don't know if this pertains to like the situation anymore, but here you go.
Here's my answer from 3.5 years ago. Well, actually, I doubt you could have had anything in a phone for 3.5 years.
Nah,
you haven't had the same phone for more than a year.
No. Facts, sir. I cannot cannot really defend myself on that one because it's just, it's just true. I'm awful at phones. I'm getting better.
Well, baby steps, one step at a time.
Yeah.
I thought I had more to talk about my COVID experiences, but I kind of crashed through them pretty quickly. Look at my notes. I'd say the weirdest thing that happened to me is everything tasting like canned corn. That and the tiny lungs.
I thought it was weird just like how loopy it made me.
Yeah. Like it was like even like my sense of, I guess, just kind of surroundings. Like I'd be in the shower and I just felt like I was closer to objects than I really was, and stuff like that. Just like everything just seemed.
It reminded me of like when I get like a migraine at first. Like my brain just was not computing stuff. Like,
yeah,
trying to like message everybody back because I was talking to so many people on Messenger. I was just like, I'd have moments where I'd just sit there and stare at the phone because I was just like, for some reason, I just couldn't. I don't know.
Oh, I felt like a dumbass because I had this headache that would not go away. I was like, oh God, why won't this headache go away? I can't get rid of this headache. Can't get rid of it. Can't figure out what the hell's going on. So then finally, I realized I got some Monsters in the fridge. And I just want to say, when you can't actually taste anything and you drink a Monster, all it is weird chemical tastes. So, but I couldn't figure out what was going on, so I drank some of that, and as soon as I got some caffeine, headache was long gone. I've been taking all kinds of freaking Excedrin trying to get rid of this headache, and just was not enough caffeine. Drank a little bit of this Monster, gone. Because you know how I am with my caffeine, and I had hellacious headaches, and I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it, and then it just turned out I need some caffeine this whole damn time. So I sat there and suffered through this headache for days for no reason when I could have just drank a Monster.
You fool.
That was probably one of the worst things of it, is that the headache that wouldn't go away until I realized, because I was trying to figure out, it's like, is the headache COVID headache or is it caffeine headache? Yeah. I think it was just like both combined. And it made it horrible.
I think the first 2 days were the hardest on me just because like I felt like I had the flu or a cold or something. Like I was like definitely sick.
Yeah.
And that was the worst. And because I woke up and it was just like I felt like I had a cold and my body hurt so bad. And I was just like, I just opened my eyes and I was like, fuck, I'm sick. I like instantly texted Mom and I was like, don't try to come in my room or anything. Like, I'm sick. Like, I'm going to try and avoid you. Just leave shit at my door. And then we were kind of waiting for your test to come back to kind of see, you know.
Yeah. Oh, like as soon as I knew I was going to be COVID positive, the moment that I couldn't taste anything, I was like, there it is. I officially got COVID. I still don't know for sure if remember the beginning of or the beginning / end of last year when we were all sick.
That was the last time I was sick, and that's what I was comparing COVID to, because I thought like, oh shit, it's gonna be like what I had in December, and that was awful. Like I could not breathe for shit. Like just the symptoms everybody was describing, I was like, I'm probably already had it. Like I was one of those people.
Yeah, that
And
was my thought. Because even like I'd say I don't remember losing any taste of sense of smell, but I felt way sicker then than I did during this. Like that
that
3 days was like awful. Like I felt horrible. This one was like spread out a little bit, but it was really probably like 5-6 days of mild symptoms and maybe like 24 hours of horrible body aches.
Yeah, I think I was pretty lucky. Like mine wasn't that bad, I don't think. I mean, I might have felt like it was worse if had I had not been sick in December, but like to me that was like awful. I don't know what the fuck that was, but I thought that's must be what COVID is. And then so when I got sick, I was really expecting that, and then it just was a totally different thing. Like I've never felt that was like a weird sickness. Like I've never felt like that before. I wouldn't say it was the worst thing in the world for me. Like I said, I was very lucky. I know like a lot of people aren't, but yeah, I was like, I don't know, just every time I felt bad, I kept thinking like it's not as bad as that one, or I kept thinking like it's gonna get worse at some point, and it just never did. And I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, the only time it got really bad for me was during that 24-hour period where I hadn't really been eating anything. And I think that was more because I hadn't been eating, so I had like no strength. Because once I would go eat a little something and chill out, I would feel a lot better. And so I went through this period of like every couple hours I'd go like make something small to eat, a little snack. And that carried me through. And then once I was able to eat kind of regularly, I felt fine. Like I said, that one day when I called you and I said I felt amazing, and then I'd get up and do something and then start coughing and feel like shit and go lay down.
Yeah. I couldn't I couldn't make my own food because I couldn't touch anything in the fridge or anything because like I said, I was trying not to get anybody sick. So for the first couple of days I didn't eat much just because my sleep pattern was off with my mom's. So
yeah,
I couldn't go touch anything, so I just didn't eat.
Yeah. See, it's just me and then Marcus and Matthew. So I just kind of avoided them the most I could. And I kind of kept it to making simple stuff I didn't have to like touch a lot of the communal stuff.
Yeah. I was happy when I could make my own food because it was just like, like at first you're like, oh, this is nice, you know, just being brought stuff. But then it's just like, when you like, when they bring you your food and it's not like heated, I'm not complaining or anything, but like,
yeah,
I had to eat some cold food because I couldn't go like take it to go zap it again.
yeah.
I wasted like a whole like pint of ice cream because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have some ice cream. So I got the ice cream and then I was like, shit, I can't taste it. And then I was like, well, I can't even go put it back in the fridge because now it's contaminated with my shit all over it. So I was just like, I wasted like, I just kept eating this like cold nothing. And it was like, I was so disappointed and I just like, I didn't want to waste it. So I'd like tried to eat as much of it as I can. So I ate like half a thing and then I just let the rest of it go to waste because I was like, fuck, I fucked up. So I didn't even get to enjoy the ice cream that I ate. So that sucked.
That does suck.
I was just like, it like hit me in waves. I was like, I can't even taste this. And I was like, I can't go put it back. Like, shit.
I know. I'd say the weirdest thing for me was trying to eat blueberries and just being like, okay, these are just sweet random balls. And like everything tasted sweeter or saltier than it normally would, because that's the only flavors that I was able to pick up on. And it made and so I think that's why I gravitated towards doing like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Because the sweetness and the saltiness of it kind of combined and made it taste pretty decent, as opposed to a hot dog or pizza or freaking sausage or anything like that. And I still really haven't been craving like meats all that much either.
No, like my mom made us steaks. And like it was a big, nice, thick steak, and I was just like, I can't. I'm not ready for all that. Like, I ate something the other day, and I was just like, oh no, I ate KFC, and I was just like, my stomach was not ready for all that greasy. Like, it was tasty, but it was just like some foods. I'm just like, I'm not ready to eat.
Oh no, I think this whole experience has turned me like semi-vegetarian now, because just like there's been a few things I was looking at making. I was like, oh, it just doesn't seem that good. Although, like I said, I did make a couple of sandwiches. I got some of those like little sausage patties that are pre-cooked in the freezer. Made a couple of sandwiches with those, and it tasted okay, but still, it doesn't taste as good as it used to. It's probably the most devious thing of this whole thing. It's going to try and turn the world into vegans.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. Like, the idea of a steak right now would normally sound delicious. I think I'd pass up a big old thick juicy steak for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I know, like, because I was eating like ham and cheese sandwiches with mayonnaise on it, and like now that's all I'm craving still. Like they were all I could taste and all I could eat, and now I'm like addicted. And I'm not like a sandwich person, but I'm just like,
and like
that's all I need.
Let's see. Not even a week, I went through almost an entire jar of that raspberry preserves. More than half of that jar is gone. It's mostly been me eating it. I think Matthew's maybe had one or two sandwiches. So I'll do like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or sometimes I'll just get a tortilla and put a little bit of butter on it and slather it with raspberry jelly and then microwave it for just a couple of minutes. And I've been like living off of that for days. As a matter of fact, I'm probably gonna go make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich as soon as we get off the stream, because I'm starting to get hungry now.
Did we talk about all you wanted to talk about?
I think we've gotten through all the COVID stuff, since nobody wants to ask any questions about it.
Well, I mean, I think you've explained.
I know.
Well, I don't know what questions.
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just being crotchety because I've been trapped in my house for 2 weeks.
Somebody doesn't know how to talk to people.
I know. I'm gonna have like lost every bit of my social skills. Like I haven't really communicated with people. I'm gonna be like, "Hi." I don't know what to do with my hands now.
Yeah, I never had social skills, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable.
I had a few. And thanks, Maverick. I hope it was a good listen. You see, can you see the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's been an interesting time. Because the boredom's been the worst of it.
Yeah, I think in a weird way it kind of was good for me because it just gave me like, I don't know, time to do nothing and just do. I played video games so much, like, and normally, like, I love video games, but after a while I start to feel guilty because I'm like, I could be doing something else, something a little bit more productive. So like I kind of guilt myself out of like playing video games for a long time. So I was like happy like to just be able to do that. And also like there's some stressful stuff like going on in my life, and it just gave like me an excuse to just not worry about any of that stuff and like shut that down, and like everything kind of like calmed down just because like of COVID. And it kind of like, I know it's weird, but I was like, it came at a good time.
Oh, like I lost all track of times, and there was a few times because I've been texting my friend Amanda, and there was a couple people I've been kind of just texting, checking in on, and I would go text them, and also be like, "Oh shit, it's 3:00 in the morning." They're probably asleep, so I guess I'm not going to text anybody because, like, already as it is, I'm already like tend to be on the night schedule, and I've kind of kept that throughout the sickness. So as it is, I already tend to sleep mostly during the day and wake up during the night and be productive after 10 o'clock at night. And there's been so many times that like I just lose so complete track of time. So I'd be like asleep and then awake and asleep, and it'd be like midnight and then it'd be 4, and then like God knows what time it is when I wake up in the morning and or in the afternoon or in the evening. So I didn't know when to text people at times. I'd start to send a text message and I'd look and realize, oh fuck, I can't send a text at 1 in the morning. And then I'd wait and I'll be like, oh, I'll text them later. And then the next thing you know, it'd be like middle of the night again because I fell asleep during the day. Although, oh, you know what I didn't talk about though? That was one thing that I think kind of made me feel better is like after a while, like during some of the parts where I felt the sickest, is I think part of it was just being inside with no daylight or anything. So there's times when I just periodically just go outside and just sit in the backyard and just soak up some sun. Or there was a couple times I just had to open up all my curtains and let all that sunlight in. And it kind of gave me this like renewed boost of energy. Because I'd be laying there just feeling like crap. And then
so you think you have superpowers and they're sun based?
Yes. Yeah. So, like I said, like I was saying, that COVID was probably sprinkled on this planet from that little fucking rock that flew past at the end of 2018 or in 2019, the Mau Dormammu.
But I'm liking where it's going.
You don't remember? It was just like I want to say it was end of 2018, middle 2019. I don't remember exactly when it was, but there was this giant space rock that was going in an unusual pattern, and it got near our atmosphere. And there was a bunch of people talking about it. It's actually an alien spaceship, blah, blah, blah. And, I think they just flew past, sprinkled a little COVID down here. Because, see, they've seen War of the Worlds, right? So they've seen War of the Worlds, and they don't want to come down here, catch our viruses and die. So they're going to slowly just kind of sprinkle a little bit of their viruses here and terraform our planet before they come and invade.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me.
And apparently, for some of us, it gives us superpowers related to the sun because, it's alien planet, red dwarf star, Kal-El. All right. Hopefully nobody takes that as scientific fact, because.
No, I mean I did.
All right. Well, if this had any chance of being monetized, now it does not.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Of course it was in jest.
It was a lovely story that was concocted during a fever dream. I don't know.
I seriously was like, I was wondering if the fever had got me. Like how loopy I felt at times. I was like, is this like, should I be afraid? That's how loopy I got. Like, I was like, I'm almost having fun. Like this is very strange. Like
I said, there was this weird moments where it was like almost a euphoric sensation where you're just like, I feel amazing. Give me a hammer and nails and I will build 47 houses right now. Nobody will go without a home. I will drill wells. I will, put up some solar panels. I mean, we'll be off the grid, houses for everyone. Just bam. I felt it. It was there. And then I picked up my laundry and it was gone.
I think the most I spent, like, I'd have those energy moments and I used it just standing in front of my TV, like playing Dragon Age. I stood in front of my TV and played Dragon Age for 12 hours and I was like, I'm not even tired of this. I'm just going to stand here all day and just, because like by the third day, like that's what gave my quarantine new life, is like I realized that Game Pass had some like of the EA games like Dead Space and Dragon Age and a bunch of other stuff like Mass Effect, I think. So like, because I had been playing We Happy Few, and that game is just miserable.
Yeah.
Like, I love it, but after a while, I was just like, I finished Arthur, I finished Sally, and I was like, I'm gonna take a break from Ollie just because. I was like, I need to play something else for a bit. And then I saw the new games and I was like, I haven't finished the Dead Space games, so I'm going to play those. And then I saw Dragon Age and I was like, okay, fuck yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I just got hooked. And that's all I've done. Like,
yeah. The only games I've played, like I said, I was the other day I was playing a little bit of Super Metroid. That's the only game that I actually sat and played for a little bit. I played a little bit of my Asphalt 9 Legends just because I had to kind of keep up with it, keep my stats up, so somebody doesn't come in and try to swoop my team out from underneath me like I already did somebody else. So, I hopped on and just kind of played a couple of games to kind of keep my stats up, but I haven't really. Mostly because if I'm going to play games, I have to come and sit here in the podcast room, which is all right. But after a little bit, this chair gets uncomfortable. So I'll play games for a little bit, and then I'll be like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go lay down." I'd say the biggest thing is I watched a shit ton of Catfish, caught up on all my Bob's Burgers episodes. I've discovered I don't care for Family Guy anymore, though.
I know I've realized like certain shows that I used to just like adore, because I recently went back and started watching Family Guy again and The Simpsons and all that stuff, and I was just like, I still like The Simpsons. I know people are like, it's not as good as old Simpsons, and I'm like, yeah, it's not as good, but I still stand by The Simpsons, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched an episode of Simpsons in a while, so I can't judge on it. But the last couple episodes, like I'd fall asleep watching something else on Hulu, and then for some odd reason, Hulu has decided that I want to watch Family Guy whenever it ends. And the last few episodes I watched was just kind of like, it just feels like they're trying too hard.
I don't know what they're doing, but I'm not interested.
Yeah, it doesn't hold my attention. I I feel like it's not as funny as it used to be. Bob's Burgers is still top notch though. I watched. I'm all caught up on all the episodes of Bob's Burgers, and none of them let me down. They haven't let me down. Family Guy has, and then I started watching another thing called was it Mighty Ones or something? And it's like a pebble and a stick and a strawberry and some other little inanimate object that they live in a backyard and they have little adventures.
A kid's show, or?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Cartoon Network style show. Oh, and I finally watched all of. I'm completely caught up on Adventure Time. So I watched all the Adventure Time episodes because I never finished that final season. So that's been my COVID adventures. Catfish, Skinwalker Ranch, Serial Killers, and Bob's Burgers. And I rewatched some of AEW Full Gear. I went and rewatched a couple of those matches. And you know what? They were still just as good. I'd say that's probably the most exciting thing I've done during this whole thing is catch up on stuff. Seriously, when we watch that Skinwalker Ranch documentary.
I'll think about it.
We should. It's weird. It's creepy. It talks about all kinds of weird shit going on. Hopefully you don't fall asleep because the ominous music is somehow soothing and relaxing.
Yeah, it sounds like very like suspicious. Like what? It just lulled you to sleep? I don't know, man. That's some creepy stuff.
Well, remember my alien theory?
I'm just well, thank you, sir. I know a trap when I see one.
Oh no, it was a good documentary. It had some interesting stuff. Kind of made me curious about going out to the Skinwalker Ranch. I want to see a crazy hell beast step through a portal.
I think I do, but then it's like one of those things where it's like if that really happened though, like I think it's true. I think my heart would just shit itself and I would die. Like I would want to be cool with seeing it, you know, like I'd want to be brave, but I know it would not happen. My body would fail me. I would not be able to move, and I would probably shit my pants and die.
That is true. That is one of those things that I always say I would really love to see. Like I always say that if I saw a UFO like fly right above me and everything, I'd be like, "Oh, some cool shit," and I'd have the wherewithal, take some pictures, all that stuff. I'm not necessarily sure that would be what would happen.
I'm afraid of aliens. Like when I was a kid, like I would always get the alien like books from the library. And I just read so many like stories of aliens and it just scared the shit out of me. Like, and now I'm like, and then I saw The Fourth Kind or whatever. That one scared the shit out of me. That was back when I believed that like movies had to tell the truth. If they said that it was like a true story, like the fact they had the actress come out and be like, "Hey, just between me and you, this really happened." Like I was like, "No way!" Like she would never lie to me. Like
she's got an honest face.
She would never get on this screen and tell me some bullshit.
Yeah.
And that scared the shit out of me. Aliens to me have always been the scariest because I truly believe there's a possibility that they could be real. And I think it would be Mars attack. Like every time I think about it, I'm like, we'd either be like, yeah, we'd be like, oh, like they come down, shoot us, and we're like, it's a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding. Like, it's okay. Honestly, and then they fucking boom, kill us again.
Honestly, I feel like if anything, we would be the Mars attackers. we would be the ones.
Well, I feel like it would go either way. Like, but those are our two options.
I honestly feel like
Mars attacked.
If we find an alien life, we're gonna go to that planet, we're gonna seek it out, and we're gonna kill it. Because that's just how human history seems to be.
We'll just be like Avatar or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, they might be like chill, and that might be why they don't want to make contact. Like they're more advanced and they're like, we can't come down there. Look at these assholes. we're gonna show up and they're gonna start throwing sticks at us. What the fuck, man? We can't deal with this. Let's let them evolve a little bit more, and then we'll see. Give them a couple 100 years. And see, that's probably what's happened with the Skinwalker Ranch, because they keep talking about how it's very evasive, and they've been having trouble studying it because they'll kind of like figure stuff out, and then the opposite will happen. So they're probably like, nah, man, look, we got our shit going on here. We'll come and talk to you when we're ready. But in the meantime, you guys need to back the fuck off and go over there. This is our area. You know, we'll talk to you when we're ready. But right now, I don't think you're ready to have a real adult conversation yet. So go over there and play in your sandbox, and then we'll come and get you when it's ready, when you're ready to have a conversation. But until then, we're just going to fucking unlock gates and scare the shit out of you so that way you don't come fuck with us. That's what I think is going on. They're telling us to go to our sandbox.
I don't know. Sometimes they're like, what if they just don't care to like intermingle? You know?
They probably don't.
It seems like they're all business, you know?
They see what we're doing here. They see what kind of fucking crazy ass hairy apes we are running around trying to fuck each other or kill each other. So they're like, hey man, they haven't evolved enough. Let's just, we'll pop in and out, check on them, keep tabs, and one day we'll come and shake hands. But until then, or tentacles, whatever. I don't know. I'm being presumptive if they have hands.
Wouldn't you be more like what's the word? Disappointed if like aliens got here and they just looked like you and me? Or would you like that better?
That would be disappointing.
Like the only difference is like they don't fart or something. It's not even something physical, you know?
You can't trust something that doesn't fart. You can't trust something that doesn't fart. I mean, look what happens to birds. I'm just saying.
Wouldn't a small part of you be like, this is aliens? And they're just like, oh, we just, know how to get here. That's like the only difference. We're like same as you, except for I know how to get here and you don't.
That would be kind of disappointing. I mean, at least show up blue or some shit. I mean, come on.
I mean, all you have to offer is I can go over to where you are and it's the same bullshit.
Get out of here with this bullshit. I
want my like Mars attack aliens, but I want them to like me, Yeah. Just be like, oh, this one, something about her is like cool, and then I'm like in with the aliens.
And then you put your head on a chihuahua.
Maybe. that is what happened in Mars Attack. That was the scariest shit. Maybe not, you know what? If they're Mars Attack aliens, just kill me. Just kill me. I don't want to live through Mars Attack aliens.
Could be worse. Could be alien aliens.
Yeah, I'm definitely dead. Like, I'm not trying very hard,
Dude, that movie scared the living shit out of me as a child. Alien and Aliens. Those xenomorphs, man.
The Mars Attack aliens scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Those things were, like skeletons with big brains. Like, that's scary as shit.
Well, shit, the fucking ogre or the troll from Ernest Scared Stupid scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, Ernest Scared Stupid scared the shit out of me too.
And it was the one scene that got me. Like, I was cool with the rest of it, and there was just that one scene where the little girl looks under the bed thinking the troll's under the bed, and she looks under there, it's not there, and then she rolls back over, and then the troll's laying next to her in the bed. Fuck. That fucking got me. Oh shit. That was it. That just boom. Freaked me the hell out. I was terrified. I had nightmares. And my mom's like, she's like, oh, okay, you've been watching Child's Play, you've been watching fucking Friday the 13th, and it's Ernest Scared Stupid giving you nightmares. And I'm like, the bed scene, Mom.
Child's Play fucked me up too.
Yeah, well, especially because that was those little My Buddy dolls were real popular at the time. And I had a few friends that had the My Buddy dolls. So pretty much, essentially, we just tied it to a chair and stuck it in the closet. We wouldn't do anything until we made sure that the My Buddy doll was secured before we played any games.
Nice.
Why take risks? So I wonder how many people that are my generation that just had My Buddy dolls tied up in a closet somewhere because they were afraid it was going to come alive and stab them.
Probably a lot, honestly.
Because there's at least 3 of my friends that we did that. So, all right. I think we can wrap this up. It's been almost an hour and a half. I think we've told our tales of the COVID. And I'm going to go fix myself something to eat because I'm hungry now. I'm going to make me a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
So next week, back to normal, probably?
I think next week we'll be back to our regular scheduled program. The Bag of Doom will be out. We'll be drinking whatever cheap booze we got. I still have the Natural Light. There is still 6 in there. I have not drank a single one since I've been sick. I don't know, just booze hasn't sounded all that great to me. Because, well, couldn't taste anything. Because I couldn't even imagine how enhanced the alcohol taste would be.
Yeah.
That'd be awful. So, I guess until next time, this has been Best of the Bottom. We're bottom class people drinking bottom shelf booze. You can find us right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/bottom class. We'll be live on Mondays. You can get the catch up on the Paracoat Productions channel on YouTube, which will be up tomorrow. And then also we'll be posting the audio version as well tomorrow. So keep a lookout. Hopefully we'll see you next time, and we'll be resuming our regular schedule. Tomorrow I'll be doing Terrified Tuesdays. I'll be doing the AEW Watch Along on Wednesday and do some retro gaming. So have a good night. And, like, share, subscribe, come join the family. And we'll see you next time.
Be gone.
Tastes pretty good.